Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is the owner and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, how do I start this off? I'll start it off from the beginning. In 1989, Jerry Jones bought the Dallas Cowboys for $140 million. And his first move was firing Tom Landry, the team's only coach at that point, to hire Jimmy Johnson, in which he also fired the general manager for the team and assumed that power, a power that he still has today, and will be a very important topic later in this video. But 1989 season was not a good season for them. Not even close. They finished 1-15. It looked terrible, but Jerry Jones had faith, and that faith was realized when, in the first 5 years of the 90s, they won 3 Super Bowls. But that would be the peak of the Cowboys in the Jerry Jones era. Because after 1995, they wouldn't make it to the Super Bowl again. Matter of fact, they wouldn't even make it to the conference championship game again. They have become a really, really weird and dysfunctional team that's been good in the regular season, has looked great in the regular season, but they just don't go far in the playoffs, and they haven't been to a Super Bowl since. They're still touted as one of the most popular teams, but they haven't been relevant. They've been relevant in the regular season, of course, but in the playoffs, they haven't made it far at all. They keep saying it's their year, but it's always not. It's not been for over 30 years. And now the current day, the Cowboys are trying to be contenders again, of course. After a failed season with Dak Prescott, their quarterback, getting injured, and Dak Prescott getting injured, their season was a lost cause, basically. And now they're coming in with hopes to be a contender, of course, again, in a division that's going to be tough because of the now Super Bowl reigning champions, the Eagles, and the Commanders, who have been on a rise and ironically got to the NFC Championship game last year. So now we are in the position, the Cowboys are in a position where they're going to try to be a successful team, but the odds aren't in their favor with the schedule that's been really tough, and it doesn't help what's now happening in training camp. And what's happening in training camp is pointing out to a larger issue with the Cowboys and how they're run, and specifically Jerry Jones, who is 82 years old. That's the same age as Joe Biden. And Donald Trump is 3 years younger. Why are you mentioning politicians? Well, it's because whatever political affiliation you are, I think we all can agree, whether you're against Trump or Biden, whether you were against any of those two people, you see the decline. You see the mental decline, you see them age, they're not talking well, they're sure in hell is in shape for the power and title that they have currently. And that's the point of Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones did one of the stupidest things that he could do in a contract negotiation, because when he was trying to get Micah Parsons wanted a deal, and Micah wanted to be a Cowboy. It wasn't all about money. He actually wanted to be a Cowboy. Like, he told Jerry that, hey, I want a deal. I want to get this all settled out. And this was before the Myles Garrett and TJ Watt deal. So Like he was all in. He wanted to be a Cowboy, but in but for some reason Jerry thought that they had a deal in place. That they had a deal in place where Micah could stay, but in reality they didn't, because Micah wanted them to talk to his agent, but they did not want to talk to him for some reason. For whatever reason. And now and now and now it has gotten so bad to the point that Micah doesn't even want to be a Cowboy anymore. Because they ghosted him and his agent, and then Jerry Jones just goes on a press conference and just bashes Micah Parsons because of his line saying that even if we pay him, he won't even play because of the games he's been injured in. When he said it was 6, but it was really 4. So, like reports about league, uh, reports about people around the league laughing at the situation. Like that's what the situation is. It's a laugh. Like it's bad. It's really bad, and it's a really screwed up situation because CD Lamb, your top wide receiver, wants him to get paid. His teammates want him to get paid. Like him and Trevon Diggs, I think his name is, them saying they were there for their teammates and not Jerry Jones was the first indication that something wasn't right and it wasn't going good. And it's like you shouldn't have been in this predicament in the first place because Jerry, Micah wanted to be a starter. Micah wanted to be a Cowboy. He wanted to stay. Like, you could have had this figured out back in March. Like, you could have had this figured out by then, but no. Like, what are you doing? And now Micah wants to get traded out, and Jerry Jones is just bullshitting on with every question he is asked about it because he's like, when they want because a reporter asked him, like, when you want, like, a handmade agreement for, like, a person, it's like, what do you do? Or something like that. I don't even know the exact question she asked, but the reporter or whatever, asked him about, like, handmade agreements, I think. And, like, he said, when I bought the team, which I don't even know what he said afterwards because I forgot about it, but when he said, when I bought the team, that's the most, like, back in my old day answer. Like, back in my old day, we were doing this, that. Like, it's 2025. It's clear that you can't functionally run an organization anymore. It's become abundantly clear. Alright, Jerry? Like, all in. Like, all in? Like, that running back situation, that's not looking good. I mean, you kind of got to steal in Jay and Blue, but still. They're still, like, you didn't sign a running back at all. You didn't even draft one until, like, the later rounds. That's not a good look. And, you know, you paid Jake Ferguson, which is a good move because I think he's a great player, to be honest. But still, like, you need to pay Micah Parsons. And now you've screwed up this whole situation to the point where if you want him to stay, you're going to have to give him a deal bigger than TJ Watt's deal. When back in March, before this whole thing unfolded, he didn't even care about the money. He just wanted fair money that he felt like he would be owed, and he would be cool with it. It more than likely wouldn't have been as big as the Myles Garrett or the TJ Watt deals, but now you have put yourself in this predicament where the odds are not in your favor. And people say, like, oh, you know, Dak Prescott last year, like, he didn't get signed until, like, the day, like, the first Sunday of the NFL season. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's different and it's worse. It's a worse situation. And now Jerry Jones said that, well, he might not play in week 1, which, no shit, he won't. He doesn't even want to be a Cowboy anymore. Of course he might not. Of course he's not going to play week 1. He doesn't want to be a Cowboy. The only way he's going to play is if you give him a new deal and you earn back his respect. It's like the Myles Garrett situation, but with less drama. Okay, Myles Garrett asked out for a trade, right? He asked out for a trade, and the feeling was that they were screwed. But then the Browns gave him a deal he couldn't refuse. That's what Jerry Jones has to do now. But this is so much worse. This is a worse situation where it's more than just money. It's more about respect now. Because he feels disrespected. Myles Garrett wanted to leave the Browns because he wanted to go to a contending team. Micah Parsons wants to leave because he feels disrespected by the organization, and specifically Jerry Jones. The point I'm trying to make here is this. Don't disrespect your top defensive players. Like, don't. It's not worth it. My cat wants me to feed him. Anyways, back to the thing I was talking about. No, the lesson here is don't disrespect your top defensive players. And when you're an old person, and when you're like old people should not get the positions of power that they have right now. That's the lesson I think we should take from this. And no, I don't like Jimmy Haslam, but I'll give him one thing. He signed Myles Garrett back, so I'll give him his props for that. And Aaron Drewberry, I'll give them both their props for that, even if the rest of the team doesn't look good, especially the quarterback situation. But I'll give them that. I'll give them that. Plus, for them signing back Myles Garrett, a guy who's actually worth the money that he's given, which you know what I'm referring to with that. But yeah, the Micah Parsons situation's not looking good. And to be honest, the funniest thing that could come out of this is him going to the Eagles, which I hope happens, or the Rams, because I saw like Aaron Donald saying like if Micah Parsons goes to the Rams, then he would unretire and go back. I would love to see that. Because imagine Micah Parsons, Aaron Donald, and Jared Verse. Jared Verse won Defensive Player of the Year last year, so like that happens. Oh, the Rams might be Super Bowl contenders off that. Unless like Matthew Stafford's still alive, which hopefully he's doing well. Because, yeah, that's not looking good. But, anyways, whatever happens, I hope he doesn't get traded to the Steelers. Because no one in God's name and earth wants that other than Steelers fans. But, yeah, the Micah Parsons situation is not a good look for Jerry Jones, the organization, and it paints a bigger picture that people, when they get older, they're not fit for the power that they have. And the Micah Parsons situation further puts the period on that mark. But yeah, maybe they'll give Micah Parsons a deal that he can't refuse, but it's not looking good. And unless like somebody tells Jerry that you're too old for power, which nobody's not going to tell him because it's a family-run organization at this point. Like Brian Schottenheimer, he's a Jerry Jones guy. He was in the organization. Like he's not going to make the organization any better. He's probably gonna do what McCarthy did. They're probably going to do what McCarthy did again, but with a different coach. Because what difference are they going to make? But yeah, man. I don't think anybody's going to tell Jerry Jones what to do. And Jerry Jones is like the Vince McMahon of the NFL, but without the allegations and all of that. Like, the only way he's going to lose his power is if he dies, or unless he has a terrible allegation, which ended up Vince McMahon leaving and all that. But yeah, that's the example I wanted to paint Jerry Jones as a guy who's too old for the position of power that he has. Him being an owner is cool. Him being a general manager is not. And I think he should definitely step down and give someone else a shot, but I don't see that happening. And this is going to be a reason why the Cowboys season this year is going to be another failure. I already see it being as another failure. I saw it as another failure before the Micah Parsons stuff went out, and it's definitely going to be another failure. Yeah, that's it.